Coming out of the winter and heading into the spring, I know that I have been overloading my coat rack a little bit lately, but there was a thump in the night. And this morning, I came down to this. Oh dear. Old Faithful here has finally given up under the strain. It's time for a rethink. First things first, cup of tea, make a plan. Right, I've got to a point with this project now where I've got all the pieces, or almost all the pieces together, so I can do a quick assemble and just make sure everything's okay. And everything's not okay. It's not very good at all. I mean, I think there are a few things wrong. So firstly, the accuracy of my cutting was not good enough, and I can see that in some of the joints, especially these box joints down the side here. It wasn't great. I could get away with that, so not too bad. Secondly, I've been quite disjointed in working on this project, so I haven't had long periods of time out here in the workshop. It's been quite disjointed, just kind of popping out for a couple of hours here and there over it's actually a number of weeks now to get to this stage, believe it or not. But thirdly, and the biggest error, was deciding to use these lovely pieces of European oak that I had as offcuts from another project for the side pieces, which I thought would be great. I thought would be brilliant. Now, I knew that they were slightly warped when I started using them. I thought I could get away with it. I haven't got away with it. It's awful. You can see in here just how warped they are, and that's causing me big problems when it's coming together now. So all in all, not brilliant at this stage. So two options: I can try and resurrect what I've got here, or I can cut my losses and just start again. I'm not sure which. I'll probably start with the first and end up doing the second. Let's see how we get on. I don't hate it. I just could have done better. I mean, you can see that these two pieces aren't straight. They are warped. Look at that gap. You can see my peepers. Yeah, not ideal. And I knew that they were warped, and I did try and flatten them out. I clamped them together hard and brought them inside for a couple of days before I started working on them, but it didn't do the trick. It's kind of ingrained now, and that's because of the moisture and the temperatures out here in the workshop, where they've been left for a number of years actually. But you know, I'll try and use them if I can. But look at this, if I pop that down on a flat piece of wood there, flat surface, the amount of wobble from one side to the other. Yeah, you wouldn't find an experienced, skilled furniture maker using pieces like that. That's okay. It's all one challenge and it's all a learning process, right? anything like me, using the hand plane is one of the absolute joys of woodworking. Look at that. I mean, it looks great as these come off. It sounds great. It feels great. It smells great. That's oaky. Reminds me of whiskey. It's gorgeous. It's just a great process. And hopefully, the resulting outcome will be successful and pleasing as well. Fingers crossed. Look at that. Off it comes. I'm actually quite pleased with how that's come out. Let's have a little check. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not far off being flat. It's certainly a lot better than this one, which I haven't done yet. And this was the better of the two. Look, you can see that gap through there, absolutely huge. Haha, okay, we're on to one. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased. I've taken a bit off from both sides, but the majority on the inside where I need it to be flush and square, that could work a lot better. And the beauty of all these shavings that come off is that they make excellent fire starters in the log burner as well, or on barbecues or whatever. Great, let's try the second one. Bugger. I've snapped the end of this box joint off now. That was always a risk, wasn't it? There wasn't much holding that on. I mean, maybe that decides for me, but this is not very resurrectable. I could glue it back on. Oh yeah, let's crack on. Oh, this is going from bad to worse. Right, I've figured a way to make this slightly less crap. I have made it a lot narrower, so this side's going to mount to the wall. So I've nipped off about, I don't know, 4 centimetres, 3 centimetres on both sides and on that shelf along the front. So A, it feels a lot more in proportion now, but B, I don't have those same issues with the warping of these end pieces, this oak. So I'm going to proceed on that basis and on this design. I also feel like I want to slim the design down a little bit. It's quite chunky at the moment, so I've marked out some areas to take away some material from these end pieces, which will give them a little bit of profile and hopefully make the thing slightly less imposing when it's up on the wall. one of the trickiest things I find in my workshop especially is once you've assembled all your pieces into your almost finished product, it's trying to secure that in a position that makes it easy to work on to finish it off, either with this or with the chisel or the plane. It does mean you end up doing a lot of kind of backhanded or left-handed work with tools, which is not ideal for me. But we'll see how we go. And you know, if the worst comes to the worst, always get the sander out at the end anyway. And there we go. Lovely. Hee hee. All cut back. So now it's a mix of using maybe the chisel, block plane and some sandpaper to get a really nice finish on here. And I will need to fill in some of these gaps that show up the inaccuracy of my cutting. But that's fine, I can do all that. Now, a fine joiner wouldn't be looking to fill these gaps in their joints, and probably wouldn't be sanding it down afterwards either, but I'm not a fine joiner. I'm very much an amateur. At least for now anyway. Let's fill that one. Really satisfying part of the job now, finishing off. I'm using a really high density grit sandpaper. This is 320, so it's not much on it. It almost feels smooth, but it gives a really lovely, almost silky finish on everything, which is what I want. So we're almost there. Just give everything a quick once over. Oh, and those joins. These box joins here now feel lovely, especially because I've rounded off the corner around there. Feels really good. Final little bit to prep this now before I finish it off with a, I think it'll be a varnish or a wax maybe, I'm not sure. It's just a bit of white spirit on a cloth. Just give it a whole lot of wipe just to try and pick up a lot of that really fine sawdust that's been kicking about. And when you do it, you start to get an idea of what the grain's going to look like when you do finish it. It starts to pop a bit more. Oh, that looks great! I'm really excited by that. It's almost like you get a preview of what the finished item might look like. So just give everything a bit of a wipe. Oh, so nice. I love the way this oak comes up. I love oak as a wood anyway. I love the grain, I love the smell. It's quite tough to work with, but I don't mind it. You have to really keep your tools sharp if you're going to get any precision work with it. That's all part of the job. That looks lovely. But what I'm really enjoying with the combination of woods that I used for this is how you're getting the oak with the stripes of that plywood that are really starting to pop. Watch this, see that there? And then it really pops. I love that. I love it. That was the intention of using this combo of woods. And I'm really pleased with how that's looking. Along the top there as well, you get these stripes of the plywood. Wicked. Right, let that evaporate and I will finish it off. Okay, I've decided I'm going to finish this with a just kind of standard beeswax polish there, which should do the job. The trick is to get it absolutely everywhere. That's what it looks like on the inside. Doesn't really smell of much. A little bit petrol-y, but it's not. It's natural, and I like to use an old sock to apply it. So yeah, the trick is just try and get it everywhere, get it even, get it covered, and then you can polish it back. So let it soak into the wood before you wipe it off and polish it back. But I'm hoping this is going to give me the kind of finish that I'm after. So there we go. Let's get that on there. And you can be quite liberal with it when you first get going. Just get everything covered, especially on this really hard oak on the ends here. Get it right down into the grains, so don't be shy. I've got enough of it there. Oh, and it's lovely when it goes over those stripes of that birchwood ply as well. This is going to take a little while. This is where the love and care comes in. In fact, it's been love and care throughout this project. It's taken me ages because it's been very stop and start. I'm really excited to get it finished and get it up and used in the house. So I don't think I'm going to bother doing the back because that's going up against the wall. You won't see any of that. I'm going to attach it up with a French cleat, which is my preferred way of mounting things to the wall these days. I really love it. This one's been a bit tricky because of the shape that I need. Anyway, shut up. Get on with stuff. Right, let's do this end as well. Love this bit. On it goes. Can't even remember when I started this project. I mean, it was months ago. It was definitely really cold out here, which is partly why I lost some of my mojo sometimes, I think. It was too cold to come out. I haven't got any heating out here. And I like to have the door open, big garage door behind you there, so that I get good ventilation for sawdust and bits. Because I don't have any forced ventilation in here. So it gets quite cold, and then you can't really feel what your fingers are doing. And then when you're using saws and a table saw and stuff, that's not a good place to be. So I try and avoid that. So the other reason I want to finish this, not just for the look, it's for the protection of the wood as well. Especially if this is going to be, which it is, a coat rack. I hope that's clear. You know, sometimes you're bringing in wet clothes, wet coats and hats and stuff that you might put up on this. I don't want that moisture to get into the wood and start warping the shape. So yeah, having a good waterproof protection on here will hopefully give it a long life as well. So I need to make sure I've covered everything, which can be a bit fiddly, especially if you've assembled something like this. Well, that's where I find the sock comes in handy. Right, but moment of truth. Come on. Job done. Cheerio.